What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, unified, WBC, IBF, welterweight superstar boxer, Errol the True Spence Jr. gives a response to how he would fare against pound for pound king, legendary, undefeated boxer, Floyd Money Mayweather. Here's what Errol Spence had to say. And we're going to play and we're going to listen to what he had to say in response to that. Errol Spence believes that fully focused, fully locked in, he's going to beat Floyd Mayweather. We know that they have a history, the sparring session that was widely reported and speculations on what took place and so on and so forth. He gave Floyd Mayweather a black eye. He was kicked out the gym by Floyd Mayweather Sr., and he got the best of Floyd Mayweather in sparring. Floyd Mayweather ended up calling him back into the gym, and they continued the session. Oddly enough, I believe the person in his corner was Kenny Porter at the time, right? Sean Porter, two-time welterweight world champion and former rival foe of Errol Spence. Kenny Porter is the father, trainer, and manager of Sean Porter. And so there's been a lot of talk, a lot of chatter what took place that day, even with Errol Spence and Adrian Broner, so on and so forth. But with that said, Errol Spence believes that he will beat Floyd Mayweather. He will break Floyd Mayweather down, use his jab. He says it's hard to beat him mentally, but you got to do it physically, just like Sean Porter. You're not going to break him mentally. You have to break him physically. So he said, I'm going to use my jab. He believed Oscar De La Hoya should have used his jab a lot more than he did. He says that that's the key to beating Floyd Mayweather. Let's listen to what he had to say regarding that.
100% focused in my prime, I think I'll beat Floyd.
Ooh, yeah. I mean,
So you see what he's saying, that 100% focus in his prime, he's going to beat Floyd, right? And he believes that he's going to use his jab. He's going to use his size. He's going to press forward, and he's going to break Floyd Mayweather down physically. You can't do it mentally. He says the key to it is if you mentally find yourself continually to aim with Floyd Mayweather having such a great defense that you find yourself not being able to hit your target, right? Then he starts to frustrate you. So he's saying that, he believes that, when he's focused, locked in, and committed, he's going to beat Floyd Mayweather. And this question was presented to him also with Floyd Mayweather in his prime. And I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with Errol. Now, it's going to be a heck of a fight. But Floyd Mayweather will adapt to any style that's presented in front of him. Any challenge presented in front of him, Floyd Mayweather will adapt, especially in his prime. In his prime, Errol Spence can freeze up at times. We see Kell Brook have success freezing him up. We've seen Mikey Garcia at times, and I'm talking about minor success, right? Nothing major. Just the little minute details within the fight, right? I'm not saying that he was capitalizing anything of that nature. I'm just talking about the minor success. If you look at the breakdown of the fight, just with the minor details, when you press forward against Errol Spence like Kell Brook did, he goes into a shell. You could freeze him. Floyd Mayweather with that jab to the solar plex would identify that. Floyd Mayweather with that hook, that he would throw around the glove. See, he would jab Errol to the body and Errol would freeze, right, at times. And when he goes into his high guard, Floyd's going to come back up top with the hook around his gloves. Then he'll come with the straight right, and then he's going to back off. So Errol then is going to be pressing the fight. You understand? If you watch the Kell Brook fight with Errol Spence, Kell Brook was doing this and having much success, and Kell Brook doesn't have near the skill set, the abilities, the ring generalship, or the footwork of a Floyd Mayweather. Yet he was having success. And I dare to say that Kell Brook is very, very stiff at times. He's not very fluid. He's pretty much robotic like Anthony Joshua. But if you watch Kell Brook, he was jabbing him to the body, coming back up top, and he was having success against Errol Spence, right? Thus the reason why a lot of people had Kell Brook winning the first part of the fight, right? Mikey Garcia, you look at the first round and second round, he backed Errol up a couple of times, and he doesn't have the skill set of a Floyd Mayweather, nowhere near. And yes, Mikey Garcia is accomplished, 4-division world champion, superstar boxer, yes. Not taking anything from Errol Spencer's opponents or Errol Spence. Now, what Errol Spence does do that I would love to see if how Floyd adapts to it is he's very disciplined. And he himself, like he's giving Sean Porter and Floyd Mayweather credit for mentally being tough. He himself is very mentally tough. He will not be broken by Floyd Mayweather's, dare I say, antics or ring generalship or traps that he sets in the ring, right? He will not be fooled into that. He's going to stay disciplined. He's going to stay who Errol Spence is. He's not going to get out of character. You understand? Which is going to be a difficult task for Floyd Mayweather. We see what guys stick to their game plan, and Floyd Mayweather can't break them. They have success. Miguel Cotto, Marcos Maidana, Jose Luis Castillo, the first fight. Oscar De La Hoya, the first half of the fight, he started to fade. You know, when you can have that type of success, right, and your will can't be broken by him frustrating you mentally and then physically breaking you down, you can have success. But he's still making so many adjustments to his game and to your game that it's on a whole different level. So the problem that I see Errol will have is that he's flat-footed, and then he goes into a shell. When you have offense, his defense is to go into a shell. Now, he will trade with you at times, but majority of the time he goes into a shell and he can be backed up. And he's not backing up because you're backing him up. Errol Spence backs up because he chooses to back up. That's his style of defense. Look at the Kell Brook fight. You might not even land punches. Mikey wasn't landing punches. Lamont Peterson at times was having success with that. And again, I know people are going to say, oh, Blue, what are you talking about? He dominated them. I'm not saying he didn't dominate them. Look at the little details within the fight. That's why you study the tape. Not you study Floyd Mayweather's tape. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather won every fight, but you still study the details to see who had success doing what so that you could capitalize on that, highlight it, and that's where your success points will come in. I'm just breaking down what Errol Spence lacks on defense that would cause Floyd Mayweather to have success on offense. You understand? So Floyd Mayweather would press forward. He would use the jab to the solar plex, use that hook around the high guard, right? And then straight right when Errol lets his hands down, because Floyd Mayweather in his prime, even at this point in time, Floyd Mayweather is quicker than Errol Spence. He's never going to be stronger than Errol Spence or bigger than Errol Spence. But he has quicker feet, he has quicker hands, and he's more accurate. That's a recipe for disaster when you're a flat-footed fighter like Errol Spence. And you have, and your southpaw, that's going to be an advantage for him as well, because Floyd Mayweather does have some difficulties like any other boxer with southpaws. So that's going to be an advantage point for Errol Spence that he will have to capitalize on, using his southpaw stance to his advantage, making sure his feet are in the correct place to have success and be accurate with his punches. The problem with that is, again, Floyd Mayweather understands that that's what you're trying to do from a southpaw point of view and a southpaw stance, and he's going to make adjustments to that as well. The problem that lies when you're dealing with Floyd Mayweather is not the fact that he's just more athletic. It's that he's 9 times out of 10, he's the smartest man in the ring. You understand? He takes the sport of boxing more serious than anybody in the history of the sport of boxing, in my opinion. That's how dedicated it is. It became an obsession for Floyd Mayweather. So he understands all the little minute details within the battle. You understand? So he understands what Errol Spence is going to try to do. And he's going to already prepare himself. He has the ability to make adjustments on the fly faster than anybody in the history of the sport of boxing that I've seen. Because he's so obsessed with the sport of boxing, he pays attention to every single detail. Now, he's human, so he makes mistakes, and you can capitalize and have success because he's human. But another thing is, his stamina is his success, right? Because he's so dedicated, his commitment turns into his stamina, and it turns into success because he never gets tired. So that's another key factor, right? Because he's going to be jabbing Errol to the body. He's going to be, it's going to look a lot different than what Errol saw in sparring because, contrary to popular belief, Floyd Mayweather is a whole different fighter in sparring than he is under the lights. He likes to fight when he's sparring, right? He likes to, that's why he called it the doghouse. He likes to get in exchanges. He likes to fight, right? There's been tons of people that had success against him in sparring. But this would be a high-level chess match that I think that Floyd Mayweather can make adjustments faster than anybody and faster than anybody that Errol Spencer has seen in the ring. So Floyd Mayweather's footwork is going to be an issue, and Floyd Mayweather IQ is going to be an issue for Errol Spence. Not that Errol Spence is not smart, because he has a high ring generalship and IQ. It's just that we haven't seen anybody make the adjustments that Floyd makes on the fly faster than anybody in the history of the sport. So with that said, Floyd Mayweather, accuracy, his footwork, and his angles that he would use, with Errol Spence being flat-footed and going into a high guard, backing up, is going to prove to be the difference, and Floyd Mayweather is going to win this fight. But I love the confidence coming from Errol Spence that's saying that, listen, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to win this fight 100% focused and locked in. And that's another key example right there. It's a key word. He said, me being 100% focused and committed and locked in. See, there it is right there. Floyd Mayweather don't have to get 100% focused and locked in because he's already there. So things that you have to work on, committing yourself to doing that you don't normally do, he's already doing that. That's a normal day for him. So he's taking the session to a whole nother level. That's a problem. See? So you're taking yourself to a place that he's always there. And you're getting yourself prepared to be in that space. He's always in that space, day in and day out, when he's not fighting, when he's not training. That's the difference. But I respect Errol Spencer's stance. I respect Errol Spencer's competitive nature. And I respect Errol Spencer's strive to be great. So let's see how this all plays out. Because Floyd Mayweather is talking about coming back. And you best believe Floyd Mayweather has heard this. And Floyd Mayweather, a competitive nature, if he steps back in the ring, oh yeah, he gonna have to respond to this because he's gonna be asked about it. Should he step back in the ring? And Floyd Mayweather, competitive nature, he don't want nobody to be a brighter star shining than him, especially in the sport of boxing. As he says, he committed his entire life to it for nobody to outshine him. So let's see how this plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.